Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Wednesday, October the 2nd, the year 2019. Let's talk trading, directions, and you. Have you ever thrown a party, maybe invited a dozen or so people, and you had to send out directions? And most people found their way okay, but there's usually that one person that got lost. And then they want to tell you just how bad your directions are and what you should have done. But 11 out of 12 people found the party with the directions. But that one person, rather than taking responsibility for them getting lost, they want to shift the blame to somebody else. I mean, there's many things you could do. I mean, you could actually drive the day before, like if it was an important event such as a job interview. You want to make sure you don't get lost, right? You don't want to leave anything to chance. But some people always want to shift the blame outside of them. What's that got to do with trading? I'm pretty sure you can connect the dots. I've put out systems, the buy zone, the rat zone, the wick zone, ATR zone. It's not my system, but the pivot, how profitable pivot trading can be. The first day of the week breakouts. I mean, the high low of 2-bar breakout. I've put out, I don't even know how many different systems, methods, entries, triggers, you name it. But there's always somebody who wants to tell me how I failed to deliver. But as I think I've probably mentioned before, I no longer play to those who boo. I play to those who applaud. So no matter what you do, if you have an audience, there's always going to be that one person or maybe a handful, the nitpickers. They're gonna find something wrong. They're gonna hurl insults. They're gonna heckle. But you don't worry about those. You worry about the people who are there to learn and to enjoy what you have to offer. So, which group do you fall in? Are you blaming? It doesn't have to be me, but are you blaming somebody else for your poor trading performance? Oh, those market makers. Oh, those brokers. Oh, those whoever. Or are you saying, hey, wait a minute. Let me take a look in the mirror here and see what I can improve, that what I'm doing, how I can do it better. So I can maybe have better profitable outcomes. And of course, you have to have your risk management and money management in place. We're starting off this trading month right, I hope, and that everybody, that their goal for this day, this week, this month, this year is not to lose more on any one particular trade than what your risk is. And of course, boys and girls, fellow traders, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Trading is very risky and Forex trading is extremely risky. So that being said, if you need advice, seek it from an accredited financial professional rather than somebody you listen to on YouTube or some trading blog or read some trading forum. That way, when you lose your money, you know it was lost using professional advice, right? Makes you feel so much better, warm and fuzzy. Okay, we got a blank monthly chart here. Yesterday, we were starting off with the month. So we'll just take a look, see what this chart's telling us. Well, let's see. Price went up, failed to make a new high, reversed, came out of that wick zone, and is heading south. But, with a blank chart, we don't know how many pips. We have no reason. And That's one of the reasons why we have indicators, so it can tell us simple things like that, right? And if we look at the week, we can see here it exceeded the previous week, reversed, came through that wick zone, and once again is putting in a low right here for the month. And if you look at the day here, okay, yesterday was the first. You see it exceeded the previous day's high, reversed, came down, exceeded the previous day's low. Price went into the previous day's body here, came out through the previous day's low, exiting that lower wick zone. So once again, yeah, you can trade with naked charts. It's not that difficult. In fact, in this case, you see it put in a higher high with a lower close, which is one of the new indicators that I released. For the week, all gaps have filled, and you can see here how it is nice to have certain indicators on the screen because they make life easy. We can see we're 80 pips below the weekly open. We're 131 pips off the weekly high and 4 pips above the weekly low. And that's just on the dollar yen. And there was something I wanted to show you on the euro yen, but let's go through a couple more charts. Here we go. You see the first day of the week. Here's Monday, first day of the month, Tuesday, yesterday. And what did price do today? It got within those zones, broke through the low of the first day of the week, and broke through the low of the first day of the month. I tell you these things beforehand, so you really can't call these hairy hindsight trades. I mean, this is what we do, every day, every week, every month, these types of trades. They're very simple to do. There's nothing to think about. I mean, price hits this line, you enter the trade, you see there was profit to be had. Sometimes it's a little, sometimes it's a lot. Maybe you moved your stop loss to break even +1, got stopped out. You tried it again here, you got stopped out +1. You tried it again here, you got stopped out +1. You tried it again here, and look what happened. I was listening to some other trading, I guess you call them blogs or podcasts, and it was kind of funny because I think over the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've actually heard some traders say some of the things that I've been saying. Basically, that the traditional trading education is a bunch of hooey, and only some of them use squiggly lines, but one guy was saying, nope, no indicators on the chart at all. But I think to say no indicators on the chart is like rubbing two sticks together instead of using a big lighter to make fire. Because, yeah, you can see here this was an inside bar, but it's kind of nice to highlight it so you don't have to put the lines on. It just makes it easier, especially if you switch pairs. I mean, let's look at the euro yen here. As you can see, we had an inside bar yesterday and price broke out. And it's nice so you can have an indicator like the dashboard so you can see where all these inside bars are occurring. And for those of you just tuning in, I'll just have to show you. Number one, I don't sell indicators, but the 2017 dashboard is a donational indicator. And you can see here, as the computer is dragging, if you look here, these are all the different functions that it has. And this morning I had some inspiration. I'm going to probably be adding about 2 or 3 functions to the dashboard. So in the next batch, look for something new. Okay, range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pairs over 100 pips. You can see here, dollar yen 45 pips below the previous day's low, bouncing 6 pips now off the current daily low. And you can see here with the indicators, it just makes it much easier. You can also see we just put in a monthly H1 lowest open here. Price is reversing off of that. You can see right here, we had a daily H1 highest open right there, price reversed, and look at all those reds in a row. That's a bunch of red. Oh, and just so you know, I'm looking for price to return to this level. Might not do it anytime soon, but I'm looking for price to return to this level. Why? Big bar, that means there were sellers there. Okay, let's see. We had the pivot point right at the weekly open. So we ignored the short trades. We took a long, failed to make it. And what happened here? Lower low, lower low. So you either got stopped out or you just scratched the trade with 1 or 2 pips. And then price hit this zone below the weekly, below the daily. That's screaming short. So right here, you can take that short and you see what happened next. So if price doesn't even hit the weekly, it's below the weekly, gets below the open, you're thinking about trading short. Now, there's something I heard that kind of contradicts it, but that's a reversal trade, and we'll get to that, I hope. Rat trade, you can see it's setting up right now. Oh, somebody commented, I guess they thought I was sound like I'm on drugs and you have to speed up the the speed of the video, speed up the video so it doesn't sound like I'm on drugs. Well, I don't take drugs. Okay, the new indicator here, higher high, lower close, lower low, higher close, multi-pair, multimeter. So you can see these occurrences. Here we have a, right here we had a lower low and a higher high, and it painted as a lower low. But right here, we also, right here is a lower low, or actually it is a higher high with a lower close. That's why it's red. And since it's near the bottom, you would ignore that as a short signal unless it's a breakout, say, of the previous day. Okay, here's what I want to show you. I put up the weekly ATR zone, and I also put it over here in the dashboard. So right here, you can see that the Swiss franc yen price is below that ATR zone. Now, this ATR zone works off of the current weekly low. So in other words, it takes an ATR from this point right here, the weekly low, adds the ATRs, and it plots these pairs. And then you take the weekly high, which is right here, you add the ATR to it, and or subtract the ATR from it, and you get the ATR zone here. So that's a dynamic zone. I also have an indicator that works off of the open. It will tell you how far an ATR's price is from the open. But right now you can see here back on Monday to what happened. But this is dynamic, so this is going from today. Since we put in a new low, this zone moved. But price came down through this zone, now looking to reverse. On the Euro AUD, you can see it's in the upper, so we're going to look for a reversal out of that zone. And this one we had the monthly. So right here, it's close to the month. Let's see. I wanted to skip ahead to show you actually right here's where I need to be. Yesterday, I said we hit the weekly pivot. I said, let's look for the monthly pivot, and it got hit and then some. So once again, using these pivots, knowing the statistics on the pivots can prove to be profitable. And we have a missed pivot today on the yen. Now, there was something I did want to show you here, I believe on the euro yen. And guess what? I don't have time. So, fellow traders, just remember, It's not what you trade, it's how you